Hey there folks, Luke here with the Outdoor Gear Review. Thank you all for tuning in for this adventure, this overnight adventure. I am at one of my favorite secret gem locations, and let me tell you everybody, it is cold today. I'm actually pretty shocked. I would say it was 50 degrees at my house, but at this elevation, whew, it is definitely in the low 40s. It feels awesome. The sun is out. The leaves are changing colors, they're falling, and tonight we are going to have our very first frost. Temperatures down to 32 degrees Fahrenheit, out in the backcountry. Oh yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining me for this trip. Let's get to it. It has been 1 week since the last overnight adventure that you all saw, and the conditions are very much different. During that trip, it was pretty warm. I was sweating that day. That morning it was a little bit cool. Today, it is plumb cold. And as you guys can see, it is also very, very windy. All right, half a mile in and I'm getting wet with sweat. It's cold and hot. Whew. Now the leaves here in the mountains, they've been slow to change this year, and that's because we've had a very long and warm summer. It really has drug on for a while. The dog days of summer, that's true. Luckily, the shift is beginning to take place. At elevations about 1,000 feet higher than this here in this area, they've already had snow, temps down into the 20s. I cannot wait to see what we experience with this trip. That's one of my favorite aspects to going camping, is that you never really know what you're going to get yourself into, what you're going to see. Now we are headed into the heart of bear country, and the bears have been very aggressive this year. I am definitely going to do everything in my power to make sure that there are no bears drawn to my campsite. I'm going to take care of my food, I'll have a bear bag, all that stuff, but you can never predict how it's going to go. Ah, it feels so good. The wind blowing, the cool temps. It really is just about perfect right now. And I tell you what, tonight would be perfect for a fire, but we can't have one. In this area, no fires at all. What a shame, what a shame. Does anybody know what lives in that hole? Comment down below. I will tell you if you are right. Water crossing, my friends. I've been out here before where it's been insane. This looks pretty doable. It's definitely up though. Probably thanks to 2 hurricanes coming through. What do you guys think? Now you guys can see here how this area has had some flooding recently. The landscape has been washed away, as you can see right through here. I was this close to coming camping out here during the last hurricane, and I was like, you know what? That's probably not a smart idea. I would probably get trapped on this side of the creek, and that is certainly true. Woo. All right. Water break, water break. Time for some water. Couple of miles into the hike so far. Cheers, guys, gals. This right here is all the water that I have with me. I will simply refill this from a creek, filter it. It's chilly, and I did make the mistake of getting wet with sweat. My shirt's pretty soaked right now. Luckily, this is a polyester material. This will dry very, very quickly. You have to be smart when it comes to your clothing when you go into the outdoors, especially when you go into the backcountry far away from anyone and everyone. That is why we can't have a fire here. We are so far away from other people that if there was a fire, there would be little hopes of stopping it. It's too remote, it's too hard to get to. You can understand why the Park Service does not want people having fires out here. I think instead of letting this dry off, I'm going to simply keep going, stay hot. I have a long sleeve shirt inside of my backpack, which I will switch into when we get to camp, and then I will just let this air dry. All right, guys, let's go. Wow, guys, that is gorgeous. Welcome to the mountains. Welcome to the mountains. This entire area is just beautiful. It really is. It's one of my favorite places to explore. And the coolest thing about it is after 8 o'clock, this entire place, thousands of acres, is all mine. All mine. I could go and explore and do anything that I want to. Tell you what, guys, it is such a nice day to be out for a good old-fashioned hike. Doing some backpacking. That is what my inner wolf needs right now. The inner wolf has been kept inside of the house for way too long. Luckily, I am finally done with all the big projects that I've been working on. That includes daughter. That includes new gear room. That includes separating all the gear for sale. For the big gear sale anyway. Speaking of my daughter, who's in the Navy, I have a pretty funny story to tell you all. I talked to her the other day. She's doing great. She's almost ready to graduate. And actually, by the time you guys see this, she probably will have graduated. How about that? Yeah, go Maddie. We're so proud of her. That's so freaking awesome. I am so proud of her for becoming her own woman. blazing her own path, doing her part to serve this amazing country of ours, part of the Navy. What an incredible group of men and women, I tell you what. Anyways, yeah, I do have a funny story to tell you about my daughter. She got in trouble. She actually got in trouble multiple times. One time, it was her fault. The other times, they were being punished as a group. It's pretty funny, so stay tuned. Alright guys, well, we are at a junction here. Now my plan was to go down this way and maybe find a campsite. I'm pretty sure that's what I'm going to do, but before I do, I want to go down here and I want to see how high the creek is. Can I get past this? It's information that I need to know now so I can make my plans later on. Now, of course, anytime that I'm hiking around, I'm staring at the ground. I'm looking in the mud for tracks. We have deer tracks right here. I'm always keeping my eye out for the things that I don't necessarily want to encounter, such as a bear, or as they say around here, a bar. This is the South after all. I could make it across, but it wouldn't be the easiest thing to do in the entire world. So as you guys can see, the water here is pretty deep. To give you guys some reference, I mean, it's deep. I don't know what that is. That could have been bear. Sadly, I stepped on it. So we have that option. It is doable, not preferable. Let's go over here. Let's see what is available. This entire trip has been fantastic because I've been going downhill. Tomorrow, it's all uphill. Not so fantastic. By the way, the creek back there, that is where I'm going to get my water tonight. I figured that the campsite would be closer. It just keeps on going and going. But guys, it is incredibly beautiful here. I mean, check this out. Okay, so over here is the campsite, but this trail keeps going. Let's go down here and check it out. We'll come back to this. Gosh, guys, this is gorgeous. Okay, so you have another trail goes up this way, and you have another that goes this way. All right, well, let's go back up here. Let's take a look at that campsite. We will follow this secondary trail, see where it goes, and if we have to, we'll go off trail to get back to that campsite. I do not recommend that for most people, by the way. Don't do what I do. Stick to the trails. Right over here is the creek, rocking and rolling. Up here, no idea, no clue. No idea. This may be the campsite. Yeah, it is. This is freaking awesome. Oh yeah. Folks, this is absolutely amazing. I don't think there's any chance of finding anything better than this. I mean, we have the creek right there. It's flat, it's open. All of the trees look good. This is our spot. This is it. Wow. You know, I've been to site 1 down here. This is site 2. I've never been here. This is a good one. This is a good one. Tell ya, this is a cool spot. And I mean that temperature-wise. And tonight, it will be plumb cold. With the moisture from the creek right there, us being in the valley, it is going to get cold. No doubt about that. Now luckily, I have lots of clothes and a good sleeping bag. Quilt, actually. Perfect. So that right there is a little alcohol stove called the Ruckus, I think. It's been a long time since I've used it. It's something that I found on eBay, actually, and it's made by an individual here in the United States. It is not a mass-produced product. I was happy to support the guy. Just a very simple stainless steel stove. Works good. If you're going to carry alcohol, I recommend a good Ziploc bag. Make sure this doesn't leak out. I've seen this time and time again, a backpack soaked in alcohol. You don't want that. What you do want is some Taster's Nasty. Oh man, that is foul. I love it. I love it. It's kind of my thing, you know what I mean? I'm not sure if you guys can see this or not, but hair is just bursting out on my face right now, thanks to this. Anyways, enough with the nonsense. I am going to set up my tent right here on this hump. That way, if it does happen to rain tonight, which it shouldn't, but you never know here in the mountains, it is such a shame that we cannot have a fire. I mean, it really would be a perfect night for it. Everything here is soaking wet, but there are dry materials to be had. But I'm not going to. I'm not going to. Follow the rules, ladies and gentlemen, and everything will be all right in your life. That's for sure. So not only is the shirt dry, but my tent is set up and it's ready to go. Well, almost. I have to tuck in the footprint, but other than that, it's ready to rock and roll. I really love this shelf opening. That is awesome. With it being dry tonight, I'm going to get excellent airflow. It will not be long before the sun goes down behind that ridge. So I better hike up to the top of this ridge to get some cell phone service real quick. Just to let you know, on Facebook, before I left for this adventure, I asked you all a question, and that question will determine what we do tomorrow with this trip. I asked you all if we should hike up to the very, very top of these mountains here to watch the sun rise. It's all up to you guys, so I need to hike up there, get a little bit of cell phone service, and find out what you all chose. I better get to it. I'll be back in just a minute. All right, guys, I am finally back. That was not a short trip. It took quite a while to get to a point where I had service, roughly a mile of hiking. It is definitely more windy on top of the mountain. It felt pretty good up there. But tonight when I'm sleeping, I'm glad it's not super windy down here. Okay, well, you guys have decided that I am to hang out here for the night, skip the sunrise, have a good breakfast. So that is what we will do. I think it's time for dinner myself. It will be dark fairly soon. The sun is just right over there, about to crest the ridge. So roughly another hour or so, and it will be dark. And since I can't have a fire, might as well call it a night. That is how it goes when you are in the backcountry sometimes. Regulations such as this are very common. Here's the last bit of my water. We might as well fill up. Now I'm going to take this, fill this full of water from the creek, and then use this here to filter my water. This has a filter on the end, works very, very well. With this product here, it is that easy. Fill it up and you're good to go. Now my dinner tonight is from Packet Gourmet. I happen to have a ton of this stuff, so I might as well eat it. This is the Big Un burrito with fajita chicken. Let's see, diced chicken with black beans, brown rice, spinach, roasted corn, cheddar cheese, and hot sauce. Looks pretty good to me. What do you guys think? "15 minutes, I'll be eating some dinner, and I can't wait. I'm starving. I'm absolutely starving." So let's see how the Big Un burrito with fajita chicken is. It looks awesome. Not that you guys can see it. It does look good. And it is good. You guys probably can't tell because of the water noise, but it's still pretty windy. Luckily, we are sheltered here. It's definitely getting cold. I'm right at the point where I could put on my jacket and my toboggan. I might as well tell you guys a story about my daughter and how she got in trouble. Alright, this one is completely her fault, right? So she said that she was woken up at 5 o'clock in the morning, pretty average, and one of the, I think they call them RDCs, came up to her and said something. And she replied without saying, you know, chief officer, petty officer, whatever it is. She just called them by name. In the Navy, you never apologize for a mistake, you correct yourself. So she instantly recognized that she made a mistake, she corrected herself. The individual was a woman, and I guess she gets up in Madison's face. Folks, I have to curse, so cover your kids' ears. She says, "You better unfuck yourself," followed by a whole bunch of other stuff. That's pretty funny. You better unfuck yourself. I sure do like that. That is really good, guys. It needs just a little bit of something. Maybe like additional hot sauce. It did come with some, but it needs just like a little bit more. But overall, that is really good. Vegetables and meat, that's what I like. Now, talking about my daughter, the first time that she got in trouble was with the group that she was in. I don't even think they were in their divisions yet. It was P-Days, something or other. She said that they were told no talking. Well, two people, part of their group, decided to have a little chit-chat. Well, they got in trouble. The entire group gets in trouble. So they had to sit on the floor for 45 minutes with their mouths open. Like that, for 45 minutes. That's pretty rich. That's pretty rich. In a couple of days, it will be Madison's birthday. 18 years old. How about that? By the time you guys have seen this video, Susan and I will likely be up at the Great Lakes watching her graduate. At the same time, I will be filming a cross-country adventure. Susan has never taken the back roads like I have, and I'm so excited to show her the back roads of the United States. The country is amazing, folks. You have to do it. Don't take the interstate, take the back roads. You will go through some amazing towns. Don't get me wrong, you will go through some shitholes as well. But for the most part, there's a lot of amazing sights out there. Now, after dinner, I will have to throw up my bear bag. Not entirely sure where at the moment. Do the best you can do. That's my advice. If a bear gets it, it's your own fault. I'm a firm believer in taking responsibility for your own actions. You know what I mean? If I throw the bear bag up and I do a poor job doing it, or maybe I settle for a tree that's not perfect, it's my fault. Imagine what this country would be like if everybody took responsibility for their actions. You know what I mean? By the way, folks, I will stop talking after this, but raise your hands if you're going to go see the new Halloween movie. This guy. I generally do not care for the hack and slash movies, but I've always kind of liked the story for Halloween, the very first Halloween, because after that, those movies are so terrible. I saw the first one when I was a kid. It came out in '78, I think. I liked it. All of the others are just garbage. I cannot believe that any movie company would invest in a movie like that, or like those. Just terrible. Susan has never seen any of those movies until recently, so we watched all of them. Every single Halloween movie, we've watched them all. The first one's good, second's not bad, and then after that, it is a train wreck. The worst movies of all time. If you've seen the movie, comment down below, share your thoughts. I'm done talking. I'm going to focus on eating. That way I can get my bear bag up before it gets dark. I'll see you guys in a minute. Now for this video, I am using the rock sock. You guys have seen this before in a preview that I did. I didn't do a review because it was a prototype product. The way that you are instructed to use it is just way too complicated. The way that I'm using it, nice and easy. You simply throw it over, hook it up, pull it up, that's it. That's as good as I can do without spending all night long running around in the forest. If a bear gets it, it's my fault. I'm going to kick back, watch the creek for a little bit, hop inside the tent. I'll bring you all back then, say goodnight. Oh yeah. I think I could stare at the creek for hours and hours. When I was a kid, my brother and I, we really didn't have any toys. We played with each other, we played in the creek, we threw rocks, we built forts. That's what we did. Staring at a creek is almost like reliving my childhood. Well guys, it's a little bit after 9 o'clock. I just came out of the tent here because I heard something huge stomping around in the woods. It had to have been big, a big deer, maybe a bear, I don't know. Whatever it was would have to be huge for me to hear it over the sound of the water. I don't see any eyeballs, and I'm not about to go venture off in the woods looking for it. As soon as I heard it, I just let out like a big scream, like "Raw!" like that, to kind of scare it off. It sounded like it bolted, whatever it was. It was big, very, very big. Everything looks good here. I'm not going to check on the bear bag. It is how it is. All right, very, very interesting, guys. Very, very interesting. Whew. Well, I'm going to get some sleep. I'll bring you all back if anything interesting happens. Otherwise, I will see you all in the morning. Good night, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Oh, I don't know what time it is. Probably around 8 o'clock in the morning. And it is cold. But it is beautiful. Slept great last night. Nothing to report other than hearing something stomping around in the woods. Oh, it did get real windy though. It was like a little bit after midnight and it was roaring. It was absolutely roaring. Not down here. It was more higher up into the trees. This really is like the perfect spot to camp out. Beautiful and protected. It's not bad. It is coffee time. Let's go get our bear bag. Hopefully it's still there. Coffee, coffee, coffee. Coffee's ready. Cheers, everyone. Perfect. Lukewarm, just like myself. Now, this is Taster's Nasty and this. Whatever this is. I believe this is from Israel. An awesome viewer sent this in. Thank you so much. The plan for the day is pretty simple. After the coffee, I'm going to make breakfast. After breakfast, I'm getting out of Dodge, gotta go home. I've got work to do. Alright guys, it is time for breakfast. Now this is a backcountry cuisine cooked breakfast. And this thing is freaking awesome. I've had this before. This is from New Zealand. A viewer sent this in. Unreal. This stuff is awesome. Let's see, it's a hearty combo of smoked beef, tomato, egg, and hash brown. It's good. Yeah, that's freaking awesome. If you can get your hands on that, do so. And if you live in New Zealand, I'll pay you to send me some of these. I've been pretty busy, basically picking up camp, breaking everything down. For the most part, I'm pretty much ready to go. Oh, you guys like that? That's some interesting hair right there. Toupee hair's back. All right, everybody, it's time to get out of here. All packed up, I'm fed, I'm watered, ready to rock and roll. Freaking cold. I took off my jacket because I know as soon as I get started, I'm going to heat up, so not going to wear it right now. This really has been an awesome, awesome adventure. This is a beautiful spot. And we will definitely return soon enough. We have a couple of miles to climb, and it's a climb all right. I like the downhill part so much better. So much better. Woo! I'm hot. I'm hot and cold all at the same time. Well, folks, This has been an awesome adventure. I thank you all very much for joining me. On to the next, everybody. I'm going to hike up this mountain, huff and puff. I'm sure you guys don't want to hear that. So I will say goodbye. Strength and honor, everybody. See ya.